Story is told of a really angry, really jealous, really bitter driver who was on his rounds collecting, making deliveries, when he would pass a particular junction, and every day crowds of people would stand in awe of this humble painter who was there painting these outstanding works of art. This driver found himself in a situation where he was feeling jealous. He was feeling angry. Who is this little man, and why does he have crowds of people surrounding him? Look, I mean, I'm working hard for my money. No one appreciates me. No one gives me any props for what I'm doing. No one seems to even care. But they seem to be obsessed with this irritating little artist. And every day, up and down, every time he would see this man surrounded by a crowd. And one day, he decided, that's it. I've had it. I'm done with this. The man hasn't done him anything, you know, but he's done. He can't bear that someone else is getting that kind of attention, that kind of applause, that kind of respect for doing what? Drawing. A little kid can draw, but I'm lifting up heavy things. I'm doing the real work here. So the night before, it had rained heavily, and he had the best plan. There was a big puddle, and he schemed that he was going to drive as fast as he could through that puddle and drench all of the artwork. Wicked real. And he did it. He revved up. He splashed everything, and the colours began to run. He laughed. Yes, I've done it now. I've stopped him. No one is going to be able to marvel at this man's work anymore. And off he went, quite content, carrying on his day, doing his thing, until, as he made his way back, he couldn't believe his eyes. The crowd had grown. It had almost doubled inside. What on earth were these people looking at now? Surely his plan was foolproof. He had ruined everything. Or so he thought. You see, what he didn't realize is that this artist was so skilled. He was so good at what it is that he did, that he was able to use those running colors, that apparent mess, and create a beautiful masterpiece. And it wowed the crowd so much more, because to everyone around, it was over. It was a mess. It was finished. But he stepped in, and he had a quiet confidence that everything was going to be all right. And he was able to recreate something even more beautiful than what he originally had, even with those running colors. I tell you this story today because it's symbolic of what's going on with each of us right now. You see, it's easy for us to be in a situation where our lives start to resemble that canvas with colors streaming down. Hey, it was a beautiful picture where you imagined it was going to be beautiful. Anyone ever envisioned something great for your life?
Yes.
I mean, when you think back to when you were a child, you thought that everything was going to be good. You had it all mapped out. Hey, you knew where you were going to go to school, you were going to go to college, university, you're going to get a great job, you're going to get married to the man of your dreams, he's going to sweep you off your feet, you're going to have 2 children, you're going to buy a nice house, you're going to have a nice car, you're going to have it all together. But somewhere along the line, something went left. And those colours began to run. Ladies, I want to encourage you today that even if right now your life may resemble a mess, I'm asking you to trust the greatest artist that has ever walked on this planet. Because you see, he specializes at making masterpieces out of your mess. But in order for that to happen, there needs to be an exchange. You see, broken vessels. Sometimes as women, as people, that's what happens. Life happens to all of us sometimes, in one way, shape or form. Somehow or another, life happens, and like a sledgehammer on a ceramic pot, broken pieces. You see, whatever this vessel once was, you look at it now and think that it is worthless. Its purpose can no longer be served. Why? Because it has been completely destroyed. But I learned about something just a couple days ago, and I know that it was God that directed me to this because I've never heard of anything like this in my life. And it was an ancient art that comes from Japan. Some of you are nodding, some of you know what this is. It's called kintsugi. I'm not Japanese, guys, so I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. The ancient art of kintsugi. And what it simply is they believe that nothing is ever truly broken. It's the reverence of restoration. You see, we like to sing that he is the potter and we are the clay. But if you truly believe that, I dare you to give him a chance and exchange your broken pieces today. You see, the art of kintsugi is using gold. Using gold, lacquer, is that the word? Lacquer. To mend the broken pieces. And the art suggests that the restored piece is more valuable, more beautiful than it once was. You see, that vase, that vessel, that ceramic pot may have looked perfect at first, but life happened. Maybe it was what your father did or did not say. Maybe it was your mother. Maybe it was some great failure that haunts you even to this day. Life happened. Your vessel got smashed. But Christ is saying, give me those pieces. You see, with the right tools, with the right technique, and with the right time, he can put all of that together. And you see what happens is once it has been restored, you're now able to see patterns filled with precious metals instead and precious stones. You see, the value increases because they're using powdered gold or powdered silver to mend the pieces together, to bring it back, to restore it. There is a great work of restoration that takes place in this powerful art. God is saying, give me your broken pieces. This broken vessel that you may be today is not who you have to be forever. Hey, your brokenness, you might think it makes you ugly. You might think it makes you worthless. But Christ is saying, no, give it to me and let me make you beautiful all over again. Your value has not diminished because you may resemble the broken pieces on the previous slide. Your worth has not been crushed because someone else may not be able to see you for who you really are. But I'm asking you to put aside your human eyes for a moment and to start seeing yourself the way that God sees you, and to see your situation not as you are today, but have faith and look into the future and start claiming it, speaking it as if it was. You see, you are not broken. You can affirm every single day, I am whole. And guess what? It doesn't matter how you feel. It doesn't matter if you have to say it and you have tears streaming down your face. Because listen, we serve a God who was a creator, and I believe that he gave us some of that creative ability in us, which is why the power of death and life lies where?
In the tongue.
In the tongue. Be careful what you say about yourself. I tell all my clients that I work with to never ever say something about yourself that you don't want to come true, even in jest. Why? Because you have a creative power. You see, in the beginning, God spoke and things came into being. So we as women of the 21st century, as Christian women, need to get into the habit of speaking what it is that we want over our lives. Hey, let's stop focusing on our flaws. Let's stop focusing on the things that make us feel less than, that make us feel inadequate. And let's start affirming that God-given power that we have within us, and it's in each and every one of us, no matter what we've gone through, no matter our situation. God is saying today, here's the exchange. Give me your broken pieces. Allow me to do my job. I am the potter. You are the clay. And God's promise to you is that he can bring you back together again. Amen. And yes, your cracks, your blemishes, they may still show, but you should wear them as a badge of honor. Because you see, that gold that is running through increases the value. There is something incredible about the person who has been redeemed. and that redemption is available to each and every one of us today. And so my prayer is that as we go through the rest of this day, and as we conclude with the workshops that we're about to go into, let it go. Put it down. Accept the exchange that is being offered. You don't have to carry it anymore. You don't have to fake it anymore. God's grace is sufficient. Life happens. Don't despise your journey. But more than anything, trust the potter. He can make you beautiful all over again. Thank you.